What's good, y'all? It's friend Carrick. This is the SP555. Today we're talking about the loop capture. Today I'm going to give you, I think, like 5 tips on how to make your loops better on the 5. So let's go. All right, first off, there's this button called Auto Start. Let me turn the talk box off. There's this button called Auto Start. And what it's supposed to do is wait until you play sound. And then when it hears sound, that's when it's going to start recording your loop. So in theory, you get the start point of the loop perfect every time. But I have to tell you something. It doesn't work very well. And almost always when you use it, you're going to find that it cuts off a few fractions of a second from the beginning of the clip. So if you're recording in a kick drum, then you're going to lose the attack. If you're recording in a loop, you're going to lose the beginning of that loop. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So we have a drum loop here. Okay, so I'm going to set the source to external, and I'm going to set this to auto start, and I'm going to show you what it sounds like. See, I don't know if you can hear that. It may be a little hard to tell, but if you listen to that loop, you're going to hear that there's a fraction of that kick drum cut off, okay? So you want to hear my tip for how to deal with the auto start? You ready? You listening? Just don't use it, okay? Just don't use it. I'm telling you. It's way easier to practice getting the timing right on your own than to worry about doing a loop a bunch of times because of the auto start. So let me show you how to do it. You just get ready. You get ready to hit your pad. You got your source set to external. And then all you got to do is hit record and the pad at the same time. Check it. Immediately we have a better loop. That's crazy, huh? And over time, the more you do this, the more you're going to get better at your internal rhythm. And you're going to be able to get the start and the end point of the loop really nice without having to try too hard. Tip number 2, quick one. If you make a mistake when you're recording your loop, here's how to quickly erase what's in the loop capture. Hold down Effect Assign, hit record. Boom. See, that's empty now. All right, that's tip number 2. Okay, tip number 3 is use the metronome when you're playing loops by hand. So, like, if you want to do just a real simple kick and snare pattern, we're going to use those two. Turn your metronome on, and then with Control 3, turn the volume down to 1 or 2, like as low as it can go pretty much, where you can still hear it. And then get ready. Practice what I told you, hitting the record button at the same time as your downbeat. Turn the mic off and use the metronome. Let it guide you, okay? All right, you notice anything? That metronome is gone. See, with this, for some reason they thought of this genius idea where the metronome, you can play it and record into the loop capture, but then they just bring down the level of the metronome so you can use it at a minimum volume and it will not come through in the recording. And it really helps. You know, we don't quantize over here because this is a sampler, not a computer. But you can use that metronome, get a nice swing going, but you still have your, your bass to kind of build from. All right, and that transitions nicely into tip number 4. Okay, so we have our BPM set. 82 is cool. And the only thing that's going to keep this loop from being perfect is the out point. So, you're playing the loop, right? And then I had to hit record when I was done to stop the recording. But that's because on this button right here, which is measure, we have basically, you can set the number of measures that you want to do. Free just means it's going to let you tell it how many measures you want based on the tempo and, how long you're playing. But if we change that to 2 measures, then it's going to automatically stop when 2 measures go. So if we do that and repeat the same process, our out point is going to be exactly where we want it. So metronome on, mic off, same thing we just did. You see that? That's pretty wild, huh? So literally, if you're using this method, all you have to worry about is hitting record and your kick drum at the same time and following your metronome. It's going to end the loop for you automatically. Okay, last tip. We're kind of synthesizing everything that we've done so far to get kind of a workflow. This is kind of the ultimate way to build drums with this method. So we have this simple pattern. So first thing we want to do is save this to a pad. Okay, so we got this. Super simple, super simple. So now, but we still have the original loop in a loop capture. So it has an overdub mode. When you hit record again, it's going to turn yellow, and then you can layer more stuff on top of it. So what you can do with this method is you can use this to make multiple pads of drum loops and kind of build up an arrangement, right? So I'm going to overdub just a few simple hi-hats on there. Right, that's about the most simple drum pattern in history, but you get the idea. So now, if we go back to where we had those patterns saved, we could do the same thing here. And now we've got 2 drum loops that we can switch out, you know, every 4 bars if you want to. So we let this one rock. And then when we're ready to switch over, and if you want, you can get really crazy with it. See, if we do the same, repeat the same process, and we do, just for example, we're going to do 2 bars, same thing, but instead of playing individual drum sounds this time, we're going to actually play the loops that we made. So check this. You see that? So you're basically now on your way to making a drum arrangement. And then you could bounce this to a pad, right? And then you repeat. So this is like a very fluid way to build drum layers in a way that you can't often do on the SP. So friendcarrick.com for the music. We got cassettes. bagseasonrecords.com. Me and my guys, we're over there making crazy moves. All right? I love y'all. Peace. Next time.